A very good morning, students. Today we will be going to discuss numericals of chapter motion of class 9th. Now first numerical is an athlete completes one round of circular track of diameter 200 meter in 40 seconds. What will be the distance covered and displacement at the end of 2 minutes 20 seconds? Now what a numerical want to say is there is a circular track whose diameter is 200 meters. An athlete, a person completes that circular track whose diameter is 200 meters only in 40 seconds. Now the question is, in 2 minutes 20 seconds, how much the distance of that track will be covered? Okay, now we will start our numerical. Like we have already given that diameter of the circular track is 200 meters. Okay, now we will find the radius of the track, that is r. It is equal to 100 meter. We know that circumference of a circular path, as it is a circular path, so we will find the circumference, and the formula of the circumference is 2 pi r. So I'll put the value of r here, only r, not pi, because I'll put the value of pi in the later equation, because if I put here it will come into the decimal value. So I will keep that as 200 pi meter. Now we know that an athlete covers one round in 40 seconds. It means 40 seconds, one round is of 200 pi meter, as we have already know about the circumference, so that from there we'll come to know the distance is 200 pi meter, and it took 40 seconds to complete that 200 pi meter. So in 1 unit the athlete will cover a distance of, we'll divide that 200 upon 40. Now we have to find how much distance it will cover in 2 minutes 20 seconds. I'll break that 2 minutes 20 seconds into whole seconds. 2 minutes will be divided into 1 minute is of 60 seconds, so from there 2 minutes is of 120 seconds and 20 seconds more, so from there we'll get 140 seconds. So if I have to get the distance of what I'll do 200 divided by 40 into 140, but here I'll put the value of pi, that is from here I'll put the value of pi 22 by 7. I have to divide this 200 by 40 into 140. So the athlete covers one round of circular track in 40 seconds. Okay, in 120 seconds he will complete 3 rounds. How 3 rounds? It will take 40 seconds to complete one round, and if I'll break 120 into 40, this means thrice of 40 seconds. So from here 3 rounds and plus it is of 140. Okay, 140 means 20 seconds more. So for that 20 seconds I have to calculate displacement also. The athlete takes 3 rounds and 20 seconds. For 3 rounds displacement will be 0, but for 20 seconds what will be the displacement? Displacement is the shortest distance between the initial and the final position. So the displacement will be equal to the diameter of the circular track, and we know the diameter of the circular track is 200 meters. Now we will move ahead towards our second numerical. Our second numerical is Joseph jogs from one end A to the other end B of a straight 300 meter road in 2 minutes 30 seconds. What it means, there is a line, there is a straight road. The one end of the road is named as A and the other end of the road is named as B. It is of 300 meter and Joseph covers that 300 meter in 2 minutes. After reaching A point, Joseph again turns back to the road, and he only jogs till 100 meters, and at that 100 meter I mark that point as C. Joseph covers 100 meter only in 1 second. Now what I have to find? I have to find Joseph's average speed and velocities. okay, from point A to B and A to C. Now I'll take part A from point A to B. I'll draw a diagram here also. From A to B, it's a total distance of 300 meter. Distance covered by Joseph while jogging from A to B is 300 and time to 2 minutes 30 seconds. I'll break this 2 minutes 30 seconds into 150 seconds. I also know that average speed here, I know the formula of average speed. A formula of average speed is total distance covered upon time taken. Now total distance from A to B is 300 meter and time taken is 150 seconds. I'll divide that 300 by 150. I'll get 2 meter per second. Now if I have to find average velocity, is formula of average velocity is displacement upon time interval. But I know that displacement is the shortest distance between 2 points. But Joseph moves along a straight line, then it means distance and displacement will be the same. So displacement here will be 300 meter per second, okay, 300 meter, and time is 150 seconds. So if I calculate average velocity, it is 300 by 150, which means 2 meter per second. Now I'll take B part. From end A to C, you have to understand this diagram. It is point A, it is point B. Joseph travels A to B 300 meter, and when it returns back to C, it is point C. This point is C. Okay, A to C is 200 meter and B to C is 100 meter, and A to B, I'll repeat again, this point is C. Sorry, I haven't mentioned this, I'm sorry. A to C is 200 meter, B to C is 100 meter, here is C, B to C is 100 meter, and from A to B is 300 meter. Okay, now I have to find average speed. Average speed is total distance covered upon time taken. Now total distance covered by Joseph from A to C, okay, how I find that A to C? It is equal to, I have to find A to C, not here from A to C. I have to find the distance, like it will cover A to B plus B to C. Okay, I can't take that shortest path, because the shortest path is the displacement, but the distance covered total, you have to understand here, I can't take that. I have to, what it means, total distance covered by Joseph from A to C. It doesn't mean this A and this C. I can't take this A to C. Why? Because this is the shortest path, and the shortest path is calculated only in displacement but not in distance. So in distance I have to take this A to B plus B to C. What it means, A to B is equal to 300. Here A to B is 300 and B to C is 100, so it is equal to 400. Time taken again same, A to B and B to C, it is of 150 plus 60. Why 60? Because Joseph takes from B to C only one. Joseph completes distance of B to C only in 1 second, and 1 minute, and 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. I calculate, I got the both. Now I calculate average speed from here. Now average velocity is the displacement upon time interval. As I told you, displacement is the shortest distance, so I take here AC. I have to take AC. Now I can take AC 300 minus 100. Also I can take the shortest path A to C, which is also equal to 200. Okay, you can take both. Now time interval is equal to time taken to travel A to B plus time taken to travel from B to C. It is as same, 150 plus second, 150 plus 60. Now when we divide, it is 1.90. This is if I compare the first one and the second one, in the second one the velocity and speed is different because of the path. In distance I have to take full path A to B then B to C, and while in the displacement I took the shortest path from A to C. That's why the answer is different. Now we'll come to the next numerical. Our next numerical is Abdul, while driving to school, computes the average speed for his trip to be 20 km per hour. On his return to trip along the same route, there is less traffic and the average speed is 30 km. What it is? It means Abdul is going to school. On the way to school, he drives at a speed of 20 km per hour, but on the return from the school, it takes 30 kilometer per hour. Why it is? It is because due to the less traffic. So what we have to calculate? We have to calculate what is the average speed of Abdul trips. Trip means both going and coming. We have to take both the routes. Now what is the solution? Given that while driving to school the average speed of Abdul's trip is 20 km per hour and return to the trip 30 km per hour, but we don't know the distance, we only know the speed. Okay, now average speed is equal to total distance upon time taken. Let assume I suppose that distance traveled by Abdul is d, so total distance covered in trip is d plus d, because going and coming back d plus d is equal to 2d, and if I take time taken t is equal to going to school plus returning to school, that is t1 plus t2. Okay, now average speed total distance covered upon time taken, so 2d upon t1 plus t2. Okay, now t1 I know that d upon 20 plus d upon 20, distance here d upon 20, y 20 because it is going, and y 30 it is coming. Okay, here I have given the speed. From their speed I calculate the time. I have only given the trip, I have only given the speed. From there I calculated time. Why I took d by 20? Because I only know the speed. From in that time I took d by 20. Okay, now d by 20 here, if I solve this d by 20, I'll explain. It is 30d. Okay, where comes 3 plus 2 by 60? I'll explain here. 30d, okay, plus 20d divided by 600. Okay, 600 0 and upper side 3 plus 2, 30 plus 20 is whole. If I take that 0 0 will get cancelled out and that d will get cancelled out. Okay, that's why 2 divided by 3 plus 2 divided by 60. From there 120 by 5, that is 24 kilometers per hour. Now we'll come to the fourth numerical, that is a motor boat starting from rest on a lake accelerates in a straight line at a constant rate of 3.0. Constant rate means its acceleration is given. For meter per second square है, that is why we calculate as we take this number as acceleration. For 8.0 seconds, how far does the boat travel during this time? What it means, a motor boat is at rest on lake, accelerates in a straight line at a rate of 3.0 meter per second. This means its acceleration is given, time is given, so how far will the boat will take. Now I have to find its final velocity, because initial velocity is 0 as it is mentioned here, rest. So means initial velocity is 0, acceleration is 3 meter per second, time taken is 8 seconds. I have to find its. So to find the distance covered by motorboat, I have to find the distance. So to find the distance, I'm sorry, I was saying that we have to find the final velocity. No, we don't need to find the final velocity, we only need to find the distance. So for distance we know the motion second law of equation, that is s is equal to ut plus half of at squared. S is equal to ut, u is the initial, t, if u is 0 then there is no need to put the value of t as it will become 0, then plus half of acceleration 3, 8 time is 8 square because t is square, so it is 96 meter. Okay, now next numerical is a driver of car traveling at 52 km per hour applies the brakes and accelerates uniformly in the opposite direction. The car stops in 5 seconds. What it means, a driver is traveling at 52 km per hour, it brakes, it applies the brake, means it applies brake at a very in a short span of time, and the car stops at 5 seconds. Again another driver, this is 52 km is one person, and other person is driving at 3 km per hour, and he applies brake at very slow rate, and the car stops in 10 seconds. Okay, we have to show the graph of both the cars. Okay, we have to show the graph of speed versus time graph for both the cars. For first car, the initial speed is 52 kilometers per hour. If I break this into meter per second, kilometer into 1000, hour 3600. Okay, 1 hour has 3600 seconds. Okay, and kilometer, 1000 kilometer, 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meter. That's why 52 into 1000 upon 3600, and time taken is 5 seconds. Okay, the final speed of car becomes 0 after applying 5 seconds of brake. For second car, the initial speed is 3 km per hour. Here 3 km per hour, and the time to stop car take 10 seconds. So when we have to plot the graph, here is the graph. I'll draw here all the this is the time and this is my distance. Okay, we'll take the speed time graph. Here is the speed and here is the time. We'll give the distance covered in the time interval. Distance covered by the first car, here is 5. First car applies at the brake of 5 and the second one applies and the car has 14.4. Here it is given 14.4. Initial speed is 14.4. Okay, that's why I have mentioned here 14.4. It created a triangle basically. Here it created a triangle. Okay, now distance covered by the first car, we know about from the velocity time graph how to cover the distance. Area under the graph, if you remember, area under the graph, and area under the graph creates a triangle. So area of triangle, it is O, here is O, here is P, part P, here is R. So OPR, half of 5 into 4, base into height. Base is 5 and height is 14.4. From here it is 36 meters. Okay, and area under the second car is same, half of 10 into 0.8. If you create the same here 14.4, you have to create 0.8 and here at 10. Okay, you'll get that 4 meters. Okay, from here you can see that OPR, we can see that area of triangle OPR is greater than area of triangle OSQ. Okay, now we will go to second. At this last line, you will be able to know about by your own self is that the car traveling with a speed of 52 km traveled farther after brakes were applied. Okay, now we will move ahead towards Now we'll move towards our next numerical, that is figure shows the distance time graph of three objects A, B and C. Study the graph and answer the following questions. Okay, here in this PDF this question is solved from a different way, but I approached to this question on an understanding behavior from some other approach. It's your own wish, you want to go through the PDF or through my understanding point of view. Okay, so it is a graph. This shows this line shows B, this line shows C point, and this one shows object A. Okay, now here are four parts of question. Which of the three is traveling the fastest? Okay, I'll make you understand, like the slope of distance time is equal to speed of the moving body. We already know that. Here the graph of the object B has the highest slope. The B has the highest slope like this. B has the highest slope from the origin, so that's why the object B is traveling the fastest. Moving towards second question. Are all three ever at the same point on the road? Can all three ever be at the same point on the road? So the answer is no, because there is no point where all three lines intersect each other. There is no point where all three lines intersect each other. Now C part. How far has C traveled when B passes A? like how far, see this figure, how far this is when this is the point like where the intersection happens. Like from graph, the object B meets object A at a distance of about 8.5 kilometers here at this point B meets C, here at this point B meets C, and at that time where is C? Here is C. It means C is at about of 7 kilometers. This blue line shows where is B, where is C at that point of time. Okay, now the fourth part is how far has B traveled by the time passes at C. See this graph. Here it is shown the object B, here the object B is at distance of 4.5 kilometers when it passes C. Here I have underlined the blue one in both the figures. Okay, now we will move towards our next question. A ball is gently dropped from a height of 20 meters. If its velocity increases uniformly at a rate of 10 meters per second, with what velocity will it strike the ground? After what time will it strike the ground? I'll make you understand. If I have taken a ball at a height of, I place that ball at a height of 20 meters from the ground, at that point of time its velocity, initial velocity is 0, but it has some acceleration because of gravity, and that acceleration it has 10 meters per second of acceleration. Now I have to find two things. First I have to find its final velocity, because I know it is at rest at the height of 20 meters, so the ball will be at rest at initial velocity, so its initial velocity is 0. I have to find its final velocity and time also. Okay, so I know distance as height 20 meters, I'll take here distance as s, so it is 20 meters. Acceleration is 10 meters per second. I know its initial velocity is 0, and I have to find its final velocity. To find its final velocity, I'll follow the motion's third equation, that is v square is equal to u square plus 2as. I substitute all the values in this equation, so from this I will get v is equal to, it means final velocity is equal to 20 meters per second. Now I have to find time. For time I will take the help of motion's first equation, that is v is equal to u plus at. I know a, I know u, I know v. I'll substitute all the values in this equation and then I will get time here. Okay, now next numerical is numerical number 8, and it is the speed time graph for a car is shown in a figure. It is a graph, it is shown in a figure. We have to find two things. First, find how far the car travels in the first 4 seconds. This first 4 seconds I have to find how far, means distance. I have to find the distance. How I'll find the distance? If you remember our first video, in that I make you understand about velocity time graph. In that velocity time graph, you can say velocity or speed. In that velocity time graph, I made you understand how we'll find the slope and also how we will find the distance. So for that distance, how we will follow that distance? Here it is. If you go through from here only, it is, see, firstly find how far the car travels in the first 4 seconds. Shade the area on the graph that represents the distance traveled by the car during the period. Next is which part of the graph represents the uniform motion of the car. Okay, so first part, we know the area under the graph will be distance traveled. We have to shade this 4 seconds, till 4 seconds I have to shade this. I just shaded it out. So from how we'll find this, see, I have to find the area of the graph. Okay, I have to find the area. How I will find the area of the graph? Firstly, I calculate all the squares in the shaded area, and the squares count as 62. Okay, now on x-axis, this means this axis, time axis. On x-axis, I take my reference point at 2s. So at 2s, how many squares are there? If I count 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, there are 5 squares. So
5 square represents 2s, and if I find 1 square, now if 5 square represents 2s, so 1 square will be representing 2 divided by 5, and s, why I take s? Because it is time on x-axis, that is why I took s. Now same I'll find with the speed. I'll take with the y-axis. On y-axis I'll find at 2 how many squares are there. There are 1, 2 and 3 squares are there. So same I'll write on y-axis 3 square represents 2 meter per second. Why 2 meter per second? Because I took speed over there, so that is why I took 2 meter per second. So 1 square represents 2 by 3 meters per second. So to find the area of 1 square of graph, I multiply both the values, 2 by 3 and 2 by 5. 2 by 5 and 2 by 3. I'll got 4 by 15. Now area of shaded region, I already know 62. There are 62 squares are there, and I will multiply from there, from x-axis squares and y-axis square. It is, the total is 4 by 15. So 62 into 4 by 15, that is 16.53. And the last B part will be, if particle under constant speed during its motion, then particle motion is called uniform motion. Okay. Now, state which of the following situations are possible and given an example for each of these. Okay. An object with a constant acceleration but with zero velocity. Is it possible an object has acceleration, constant acceleration with but with zero velocity? Yes, it is possible. When it is possible? When we hold a ball at a height, at that time its initial velocity is zero because it is at rest, and acceleration is there. How acceleration is there? Acceleration is there because of gravity. So the answer will be yes, possible. When ball is released from a height, then its initial velocity is 0, but a constant acceleration equal to acceleration due to gravity, that is 9.8. Okay. Next is, an object is moving with a certain direction with acceleration in the perpendicular direction. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible when it is in a circular path. When a car is moving in a circular road, its acceleration is perpendicular to its direction of motion at each instant. Okay. Now next is, an artificial satellite is moving in a circular orbit of radius 42,250 kilometers. State its calculate its speed if it takes 24 hours to revolve around the earth. So I know the radius of the earth, I know the radius, I know the time, so I'll find the speed, distance upon time, that is. Now I'll calculate 2 pi r. Why I take 2 pi r? Because of the circumference, because of the circular thing. I take here 2 pi r. I put the value of 2, 3.14, 42,250 upon 24. From here I got 3.07 kilometers per second. Now from here, now I have covered all the numericals which are given at the end of your chapter. Now you have to solve those numericals which are in between the chapter, the solved numericals which are in between the chapters as your assignment work. Thank you so much.